Hi, my name is Pete Thomas from My Safety Consultant. I wanted to give you a quick update on the website and a little bit of background on me and why I set this up. Um, I'm a safety professional. I'm not a tech guy. I worked as a safety consultant for a long time, and when I jumped from full time employment as a safety professional into safety consultancy, it was a huge risk. Like it was massive fear. I was sitting there thinking, if I don't get clients, I can't put food on the table. I can't feed my family. I can't do what I promised to do, and the fear was massive. But I knew I wanted to go for it. It was something that I really wanted to do. But the problem with that fear is that I ended up taking on an awful lot of clients that I shouldn't have taken on. They were either too far away, they weren't necessarily in my industry, and it got to a point after a couple of years where I just didn't seem to be getting ahead. I felt like I was living out the back of my car. I used to have car shirts, I used to call them. They were like Charles Tewart shirts in the packet because I knew that when I left for work on a Monday morning, I wasn't necessarily coming home that week. It's like that was tough. It had a massive impact on me, had a huge impact on my health because I just lived on fast food and lived in Premier Inn. And then I'd finish work and my mind would be buzzing with all the stuff that I'd have to do, not from just being a safety professional, but all of the business stuff that I had to do. And so, I'd tuck into a few pints every night, get a rubbish night's sleep, and then be up the next day. And yeah, it was hard. And one of the hardest things was about getting the right clients in the right industry in the right area. And that was the thing that was really hard to crack because I was a safety guy. I didn't run websites. I didn't know how to market my business. I paid a lot of money into marketing. I did a lot of networking events that I paid a lot of money for. And nothing seemed to get me ahead. Eventually I got there. Eventually I got, the six-figure contracts. Eventually I got the contracts where, I think the biggest was a major tour operator. I did a ton of their sites all across Europe. So I had consultants working in Croatia, Italy, Spain. I was working in the south of France. At the same time, I had a major fire risk assessment project for a massive retailer. We had hundreds of sites all across the UK. And then I had a couple of tier one contractors, so construction in London, and I had consultants doing that as well. So eventually I got there. COVID, oh god, COVID hurt. I bet it hurt everybody that set up as a consultant at that time. But let's not dive into that here. But I always felt like there was an opportunity here to help consultants build their businesses through everything that I'd learned. All of the things, all of the pain that I'd gone through, all of the mistakes that I had to learn. I always felt there's this opportunity, and so I set up My Safety Consultant. And that's the start of this process, really. And what My Safety Consultant does is a platform that allows safety professionals. So I don't care if you're a well-being advisor, if you're a fire door inspector, if you do fire surveys, whatever you do, as long as it's safety based, it's something that you can use to advertise your services to your clients. The process hasn't been smooth. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just going to be honest about the website. I've not set up a website before. I had to get developers involved, and the site's hosted through Amazon AWS. It's integrated with Stripe. It's really professional. We really put a lot of time, a lot of money, a lot of effort into the platform because we really want it to be, a professional site. So let me bring up the site here and run through it with you. So the main page of the site is all directed at your clients. So this is, if someone goes onto Google and says, hey, I need a fire risk assessor in Devon, the whole idea is that this site comes up first. We combine, all of our influence to help us get to the top of Google together, and it finds you the right client. Because if you're in Newcastle, you don't want to be doing a fire risk assessment in Devon. I know people will say they can, yeah, we can do your fire, but you would rather have your fire risk assessments in Newcastle if you live in Newcastle. I know I would, because when I was in Somerset, if someone said, oh, we've got you some fire risk assessments in Cornwall, well, even that's a 3-hour drive there and back for me, depending on where it is, obviously. And sometimes I was heading off to Newcastle and stuff. I just didn't make any sense, not to mention the environmental impact and the time. So this main page here is all dedicated to your clients, how they find top quality safety consultants, etc., etc. By the way, all of this is being worked on as we speak. All of this wording is being worked on by a copywriter. we've had all of these images done. I really like the imagery because it reminds me of the imagery that's on LinkedIn. It's something that we're all used to, is this sort of style of imagery. And yeah, I did look at AI because let's be honest, if you're building something, you got to be sort of cautious with your money and where you put it. But I just felt that getting some relatively reasonable imagery sort of worked and helped to promote the business. But ultimately, your customers will come on here and they'll say, well, what do I want? I want, let's say fire extinguisher servicing. And they do a search and it takes you through and it goes through to cleared fire protection there. And then from there we can click on cleared fire protection, but we can also have a map view. So, we can see there where cleared fire protection are, and it can take us through to their details. So that's great. So obviously, as this populates, you'll be able to find people that are the most appropriate and most local to you. We can do the same for, I'm just trying to think what else we've got, the safe health and safety services on here. So there we go. So we've got Flow Crunch here limited. And if we click on the profile, it takes you through to Flow Crunch's professional profile. It tells you what qualifications they've got, what their expertise is. There's this introduction section, which, by the way, you can add a lot more to that. You can say that you do 10 things or whatever it is, or which areas you cover. Feel free to get creative with that. In this expertise section, I was hoping this was going to be sort of aimed at industry expertise. So say, for instance, if you're a fire risk assessor and you specialize in, I don't know, manufacturing as opposed to residential buildings, then that's the sort of thing that should go in there. Now, someone has given me some feedback and they said, well, look, this isn't a lot, these 3 things. And it's like, I understand that. So I'm not quite sure how we manage this moving forward. I'm just going to share this journey with you. But to me, I'm thinking about it and thinking, well, if everyone just clicks every box for every area, then there's no point in having a search function. So, and I worked as a safety consultant. I would never turn work down. So if someone turned around to me and said, can you do that? I'd either figure it out or I'd get someone that can do it and subcontract it. And that's a lot of how our industry works. But that's a lot of what actually makes it really challenging. If you just get the work that you're really good at in your local area or in the industry that you cover, for example, I mean, you can cover nationally, that's cool. But, if you get it in the area that you would predominantly want, that would be way better. So, that's why I've sort of tried to limit it to 3. I may put that to 5. Let me know what you think on that. But there's nothing stopping you putting a ton of stuff in this introduction as to all of the other areas that you cover, all of the other specialisms that you have. And it's also got access to all of your details. So for instance, we click on the website there, takes you through to the website. And that's always cool. Like if you've put a lot of effort into your website, safety professional, having those backlinks to it where, someone else links to it, that's always cool. Like it's really cool to be able to, get your website, more exposure. The more, the better, right? And it's also got access to your LinkedIn here. So it'll take you through to your LinkedIn page to promote as a business. And, you can also, by the way, you can put anything on there. You can put Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. There's a list of options there. So we're still developing this. We're going to keep working on it. So it's always interesting to know like what your opinions are, like how you think we can improve the system. So at the moment, we're doing a lot of work on the SEO. Let me go back to this other page here. So at the moment, we're doing a lot of work on the SEO for the website because that's key, and that's what separates us really from a professional register. Like someone said to me, well, is this like a professional register to do your job? No. Look, I was a safety consultant for a long time. I was on a lot of professional registers. Those professional registers, they do a good job because they allow you to demonstrate your competence. There's that third-party assurance that someone has, deemed you competent enough to do the job. And that's cool. That works depending on what you do, whether it's fire, whether it's fire doors, whether it's health and safety, that's fine. I'm not trying to compete with the registers. We are a marketing and advertising company that really promotes your business to your clients directly. So that's a really fundamental difference because, I don't know anyone that said, Yeah, I set up my consultancy. I put it on a register, and from day one, I was inundated with requests, and it built my business. And I never had to do any advertising, and all that work just happened to be within a 30-mile radius that was convenient for me, and allowed me to maximize my time most efficiently. I wish it were, but it never happened for me. In fact, I never really got many jobs out of the registers. But when you think about it, that's not really what they're there for. They were never designed to market and advertise your business. And so that's a fundamental difference. So at the moment, costing wise, we're advertising the platform like £25 a month. That's we've got to get a balance here, because ultimately similar platforms get investment money. When they get investment money, they have ultimately investors to satisfy. So then they have to put the price up. Well, I don't want to do that. I want to, to me, the key here is, it's by safety professionals for safety professionals. It's for the good of the industry. So I don't really want to be doing that. I really want to avoid going down that road. So I'm trying to make it reasonably priced and fairly priced. But there has to be a balance, because I guess if it's too cheap, then we can't reinvest that money into Google Ads and SEO, which means that it doesn't really work. So we've got to get this balance right. But at the moment, I'm really grateful to the companies that have reached out and given it a go. To Census Fire Systems, to FlowCrunch, to Britannia Fire. It means a lot that these companies have got on board Acumen Safety, Influential Management Group, and I really appreciate you guys, making the effort, taking the time to set up a professional profile, and coming back to me with any of your recommendations, because some of you have come back to me and said, "Oh, I'd like to see this feature." One of the things that we looked at was a rating system, like a review system, so that when you get your clients, they can leave you a review on there. Now, if you're doing a really great job, that should be a great thing, because those testimonials really help to build your business. So that's awesome. It's an awesome way to help build your business. But we're going to take time. We're going to build it slowly. Another thing that we wanted was for clients to be able to reach out to you directly through the platform. And it's the reason for that is because then you can evidence how much work you've got out of the platform, and you can demonstrate it to yourself that it's working, that it's worth the investment. Because otherwise, they could just get your telephone number off here and then contact you through the website. And then, if you never ask, they're never going to tell you that they found you through My Safety Consultant. So, we've got a lot of plans for this, and we've got a lot of things to develop. And, and then on top of that, the whole mission really is to help safety consultants build a better business, build a more effective, more efficient business, in order to be able to provide a better safety service. Because the more time that you as a safety professional is busy with this, the less time that you're actually spending with your clients and helping keep their workers safe, right? And keep their businesses safe. So that's our mission. So as part of that, we started running some webinars. We had Anthony Taylor as a guest on our webinar talking about marketing and branding. Really great webinar. We've put it out for free on YouTube. It's there, it's free. Again, at some point, we will be looking to charge for these services, but at the moment we're trying to do as much as we can for free. So really take the opportunity while it's there, because it's not going to be there forever. I know a lot of people say that and they go, "Oh, the next place is free on this." Well, there's not. And you can see that. Like, how can you make a platform like this that costs money, significant money, significant development costs, significant hosting costs, and just go, "Well, we're going to do it free forever"? We're not. So when I post on LinkedIn and say, "We've got 10 spaces for free, get on it, trial it, give me feedback, and I'll make it free for you for the year," and that's what we're doing, then I really mean it. Like, we can't do it free forever. I wish we could, but this costs money. Like, anyone that's hosted a website knows that. So yeah, so these webinars at the moment, they're free, so get involved. But eventually, they will be charged, because as we sort of get better at this process, ultimately it's going to add more value to your business. I've also got Oliver Dax involved. He's a sales trainer that I know very well. Again, I paid for him to train me in sales when I set up as a safety professional. So I know he's good, and I've come to him and I've said, "Look, maybe we create this series of webinars, we create this course for safety professionals to help them sell." Because ultimately, we're not salespeople, we're safety professionals. When you set up as a consultant, you've got all of these new skills to learn. So, this is the development of this process. And then the next process is we're going to be offering coaching, one-to-one coaching to help you build your business. And again, that's something that I did as a safety professional. I paid for a business coach, um, which was great. It was well worth the investment. But I wish they knew or understood more about safety. That's the only thing I would say, is that I wish they had a greater understanding. So anyway, that's me. That's the update. That's where we're up to. This is the website. As I say, at the moment, if you're quick, there are these 10 places for free. When they go, they go. And then we'll be down to the 3-month free trial. And then we'll be down to the £25 a month. And again, that's an introductory offer because, we we have to look. I mean, as a safety consultant, you get one job paid for itself, right? It's paid for a year. The whole year is paid for. And if it's not, then you really need the coaching. So get in touch. But yeah, let me know what you think. And thank you very much.